Well, good evening. I do know I'm wearing the same clothes that you saw me in yesterday because I don't know where my steel hat is, and this shirt was on the floor next to the hamper when I came home this afternoon, and I said, you know, I gotta do some sharpening. Why ruin and get a new set of clothes dirty? So that being said, just to get that all out of the way, so what we're going to talk about today, I just posted a couple pictures on Instagram. I actually used my macro lens to get shots of it. That's something I'm going to start doing more often. I will put them in here as well. I will add them in. So what I did today was, I remember yesterday I was talking about the Booz Blades front flipper called the Smoke, and this is the production model. What you've got here is, and they were kind enough to provide, because this time we're actually going to get some technical spec data. So you have a 3.5 inch long CPM S35VN blade with steel lock bar insert, ceramic detent or ceramic ball bearings, and it's a 6AL4V titanium handles. It has some really cool design features. It really does. The pocket clip is not too tight. It actually doesn't do too badly in a pair of slacks. The entire knife is really thin. Now, I'm sure for some people that is an awesome thing. For me, this is a little bit too thin for me. My hands are a little bit too big. I can't, a lot of the things that I see people doing with this online, the flipping that I see them doing, I just can't do because my hands are in an awkward position. You can actually, it is a front flipper. So the flipper tab's on the top. Actually, be more of a top flipper. Half backspacer, really good anodizing on top of a stonewash finish. I'm gonna flip the camera down. We'll get some good views of that. Hopefully we can see it. This pivot is really unique and cool looking. It's almost a triangle, like a Y shape, as a pivot lock. It does have a small thumb hole, so you can open it. My fingers are just a little bit too big for that. I've seen people do it online. It's not that the knife wasn't designed well, it's just it's not designed for my hands. Now I will say the blade is full flat ground blade. And after I sharpened it, I thinned that edge out a little bit. Really, really sharp, really nice. There is a spot back here where I still have got some work to do, because it just, it didn't apex all the way back here. But then again, that's because the ricasso is forward. If you look at it here, and we'll look at it and I'll show you in the pictures. The ricasso is forward of the, the sharpening notch is past the ricasso. The actual, where the grinding stops is, so you can see the line right there. And your sharpening notch is back here, which leaves a big area. I'm gonna have to ask Pip if he wants me to, because it was ground over farther. So I'm gonna have to take off a lot of material to try and get that one little spot back here at the back, at that ramp, sharp. Smooth action. The detent on it, I'm not gonna lie, I have to say, the detent on it is really, really, really strong. It takes me to get it to finger flip it, it takes 2 fingers, and if my finger is at all on the lock bar, I can't. I'm not joking, that is not playing. I cannot, I got strong hands and I can't get that. So, I mean, if you do it left-handed, I can do it left-handed. Well, maybe I can't. I can't even do it left-handed. So detent on this, and Pip told me that the detent on it was really strong. He was thinking about sending it back to get, he asked me what you could do to lessen the detent on it. I can't think of anything. I told him, you know, if you take it apart and you try to play with that lock bar, and you take the lock bar insert out and then try to do it, there's a good chance that you'll wind up putting extra tension on this and cracking it, because titanium work hardens. Once you set that spring tension in it, it's pretty much in there. It has a memory, and if you get to playing with it too much, it's like bending a paper clip back and forth. It'll work harden and it'll just snap and crack. And any of you that have ever tried to do that, be warned, especially if you try to do that with Ferrum Forge. They have had some issues with some cracked lock bars and some of their knives, but if you try to do that, you can tell, you can look and see how something cracked and see if someone was playing around with it. I was dizzy a little bit ago and I was like, oh, I haven't drank any water for a while. So it is Monday evening. I told you guys yesterday this video was coming. Lockup on this, really good. It is misground a little bit, but not bad. I have definitely seen, now there's gonna be some before and after pictures. At the tip, it was pretty chiseled, but it's S35VN and it's easy to fix. So here we go, guys. I am actually going to put the pictures in this time. So here you just have a couple before and after pictures of the tip and the edge. And then as you can see, I fixed that asymmetrical tip as best I could. It really was kind of bad. And then you can see the edge here at 12,000 grit and then stropped. S35VN is one of my favorite steels to sharpen. Not necessarily my favorite steels to have a knife made out of, because it doesn't seem to hold an edge in some knives. I believe that these were done by Wee. I think he went to Wee to get these done, the production ones. Wee's S35VN is very good. You've heard me brag about that. That's what the Falcons, the Ferrum Forge Falcons, are going to be made out of, or going to be done by, is Wee. So if you had them done by Wee, it kind of looks like their quality machining. Every once in a while you get one with a little bit of misgrind. I haven't had too many. This one had a pretty good edge grind, but at the tip you could see where they'd gotten it over. But I adjusted that and took care of it. You'll see in the pictures. Really smooth on bearings. It has got a nice gap in between, and I'll turn the camera around and show you. So we'll stop right now and I'll turn it around so we can get some better looks at it. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I like the gap in there because it allows you to clean this knife out without having to take it all the way apart. Sorry, Nick. Sorry, Nick. I have to say, you don't always have to take a knife apart. So get this turned around. Hang on just a second. All right, guys. So I know the lighting isn't the best. It's not optimal. I'm trying to actually get this brought back a little bit so that I can get some space. So this is the Booz Blades. And you can see that stonewash I was just talking about. This is the Booz Blade smoke. This is the production one. And nicely done blade. Like I was saying, there's a big gap. See that big gap in there? I like that big gap where you can see each one of the individual bearings, specifically because it allows you to, you can just blow that out. You can blow that out. You can spray it out with a little bit of brake cleaner or whatever you want to use, and you don't have to worry so much about taking the knife apart because you got plenty of space in there to clean that out. There is that pivot screw, the back side of it I was talking about. That is pretty cool. There's that blue ano over a nice stonewash. The blade is well done, stonewashed. There's my crazy sharp edge on it. Got fingerprints all over it. But like I said, I'll show you some pictures right here shortly, showing you that it was fairly asymmetrical. I'm trying to get it so you can see it right on. It's still not perfect. Well, I guess it's better. I think that's just the angle I had it at. But yeah, it's the angle I'm holding it at that makes it look like that. But I adjusted that edge, that tip. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, all in all, I mean, it's a good knife. It's just like I said, it's too narrow for me. Nice little gentleman's folder. Reminds me of like a folding kitchen knife. But like I said, if I get my finger in there at all, if my fingers are at all on that lock bar, see, I can't get it. I can't get my finger in here. This is almost like a nail nick for me. I cannot flip with that. But like I said, I've got big hands, so this might be more, this might fit the bill for somebody with hands that aren't quite as big as mine. Let me adjust this a little bit more and we can get a little bit more space to do this. yeah, it's well executed. Lockup is really good. Lockup's right at about, it's not early, it's not late. It looks much earlier than it actually is, but because there's a chamfer. Let me see if I can get a good view of that for you guys. There's a chamfer right there. So there's actually a lot more contact with that than what you're seeing. There's actually that chamfer. So if you're looking at it from my standpoint, it's probably at about 30%, but if you can only see that, it just looks like it's barely marrying up. There's a lot more material in there than what you're seeing, just because of that chamfer. I do like that stone wash finish like that though. It's sexy. That's right, guys. I'll turn this back around. That's basically your Booz Blades smoke front flipper. Nice little thin. Now I did carry this today. It carries really well. It does. It's nice and light. You don't even know it's there. I actually took my slacks off and forgot it was in my pocket. Had to go look for it when I got ready to sharpen it. So, all right, guys, let me get this turned around. Actually did a live Instagram feed of me sharpening this. I was talking with Nathan from Rat Bastard Knives, Ken, Dead Ronin. Ken actually sent me a couple knives that he asked me if I could critique his sharpening, and I did. And I'm going to take some macro shots of it for him, of his knife, for him, and show him what I'm talking about that I thought he missed. But I'm not going to get into that right now. But he sent me a Spyderco Tenacious. Never owned one of these. I've held a few, but I've never owned one. These were the ones that were made in China, and they were making them out of 8 CR17 MOV was the steel they were using. This was kind of their budget line, but these were really nice knives too. Liner lock, but their liner lock is pretty thick liner lock, so nothing beats Spyderco's liner lock. When you want to talk about the best liner lock I've ever seen, as much as I may have complained about the knife, that tie light, the Zytel tie light with the frame lock, or the liner lock that was in it, hands down, best liner lock I've ever seen. That's how I judge all other liner locks when I see them, because that was done so that it was nice and wide. You almost mount up as much material marrying up with that blade as you would in a frame lock. So, all right, guys, that's pretty much it. Didn't want to run this on too long. Did an Instagram video, did some sharpening. I have to make supper. I have some paperwork that I have to do from all the stuff I did today for work. Probably won't be too many. This is going to be a busy week. We have an event this week with Aflac. It's called Pace Week. So there's a good chance that I won't do any more videos this week. I wanted to make sure I got the one done yesterday when I talked about this knife here and the Chuck's Tegral that he sent me. So that being said, guys, you guys, if I don't see you the rest of this week, it's not that I'm neglecting you, I'm just busy. So you guys take it easy, take care of yourselves, enjoy yourselves, and I'll see you next time.